What's up YouTube, it's your boy Stans here, and welcome back to another Pokemon deck profile here on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be going over something a little bit unorthodox, something that doesn't really see a lot of play, something that can be competitive, but of course is not the best deck out there to play. Looking at you, Darkrai, you're probably the best thing to play out there, to be honest. But today guys, we are going to go over Golduck from Sun and Moon. He's probably a really good hitter. If your locals is just full of Volcanion, trust me, this thing's going to be one-shotting everything at that tournament. I've done that before, just throwing that out there. But yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into this. We're going to start off with our Psyducks. So now we play a 4-line of Psyduck. To be honest, it's just there to evolve him into Golduck. We're not going to use Confusion Wave at all. If it comes down to it, of course we will, but it's not going to be something we're aiming for. But our main hitter will be Golduck himself. We of course play 4 Golducks, and the first attack, 1 energy, double or 1 colorless energy, scratch for 20, not going to be a main hitter. The second one is for 1 water, double jet, you discard up to 2 water energies from your hand. This attack does 60 for each card you discarded this way. Now, what's pretty cool about this is if you're doing this towards a Volcanion and you discard 2 cards, you're guaranteed that 1 shot because of weakness. So we have Lats. Then we also play 2 copies of Golduck Break. To be honest, the ability Hyper Transfer, where you move the energies between Pokemon, it's okay, but it's not going to be something we're going to be using. To be honest with you, it's just for HP, to make that Golduck not such a squishy. We can make him a little bit more viable to make sure that he lasts a bit longer. Now we're going with a 2-2 line of Staryu and Starmie. Staryu won't be doing anything. It will be Starmie that's going to be our MVP, with, of course, the ability Space Beacon. Once during your turn, before you attack me, discard a card from your hand. Put 2 basic energies from your discard pile back into your hand. And, of course, you can't, say, for example, if you discard a water energy, you can't get that same water energy back. Still, regardless, it's a really good ability. It's going to pretty much help you make sure that you're always hitting for 120 with that Golduck. And it's a bit odd because you're going to see the next 2 cards and wonder why I'm not playing a 2-2 line of that. And that's going to be Remoraid and Octillery. To be honest, the ability that you're aiming for in this deck will be for Space Beacon. Of course, Octillery's Abyssal Hand is a good ability in this deck. To be honest, Space Beacon is the one that you're going to be going for the most. But that's basically our Pokemon line right there. Going into our supporters, we got ourselves 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Of course, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. People always looked at me when I tell them about this card and like, I wouldn't want to get rid of cards, resources, and hands. To be honest, sometimes you just have to. Sometimes it doesn't even matter. You know, it's going to help set up your plays in the future anyway. Then we play 3 copies of N. You want to make sure, take advantage of like the prize cards and whatnot. It also helps out if you start pretty horrible to begin with. You know, you just need pretty much a reset. It's a good way of going that way. Of course, it's always dangerous to use it against your opponent when they're... Well, it's not dangerous. It's more like a key victory or key way to victory if your opponent has like 1, maybe 2 prize cards remaining. Then we go 1 copy of Lysander, debated using 2, always debating using 2, just because it's a really good card. We use 1 copy of Fisherman. Fisherman, of course, gets you 4 basic energies back from your discard pile into your hand. Reason for using Fisherman is just in case his Space Beacon gets shut down by a Garbodor or something like that, Hex Maniac, you know, you still have a way to get those energies back into your hand. And then we play 1 copy of Teammates. Again, another card I've been thinking about playing 2 of, and the only reason for it is because your Golduck is bound to get knocked out. And of course, you want to just keep going with Golducks and making sure that you recycle everything. But that's it for our supporter count right there. Now we go into our items, and of course, we play 4 copies of Versus Seeker, VS Seeker, whatever, regardless of whatever you want to call it. And if you guys don't know what it does, you grab a supporter card from your discard pile and add it back to your hand. Then, since the deck is primarily, well, actually, it's entirely water type, we play 4 copies of Dive Ball. You know, it searches your deck out for a water Pokemon, and it puts it in your hand. Then, since everything is actually pretty much low HP, I think the only thing that is not searchable, to be honest, is the Golduck break. We play 3 copies of Level Ball. Level Ball searches your deck for Pokemon that has 90 or less HP. Then we play 3 copies of Trainer's Mail. You look at the top 3 cards and you grab an item you find there, but it excludes Trainer's Mail. Then, you want to save Golducks as much as you can. This card kind of scares people. It doesn't want them to... It kind of like shows that shows weakness in your opponent if they don't attack into it. And of course, it is Bursting Balloon. If you guys don't know what Bursting Balloon does, you attach it to your Pokemon. It of course gets detached or discarded at the end of your opponent's turn. But if it gets attacked by your opponent's attack, they take 6 damage counters. So it's pretty cool. It's a really good card. If they go ahead and knock out a Golduck that way, the next Golduck will be able to get a pretty good knockout that way. Then we play 2 copies of Floatstone. Sometimes we get Starmies, Octilleries, stuff like that up there up front in the active position, and we want them back to our bench. So this is a good card to make sure that we get that going. So these next 2 cards are actually cards that I'm debating having at 2, taking out completely. Let's start off with Professor's Letter. So, if you guys don't know what it does, Professor's Letter searches your deck for 2 basic energies, adds them back into your hand. I debated about playing 2, it got too clunky just because the energies were pretty much already in my hand at that point, or in the discard pile. And then the other one is Energy Retrieval. You discard a card and you grab 2 energies, basic energies from your discard, and put them in your hand. It's exactly the same thing as Space Beacon. I thought about playing, taking it out altogether, but I think it's still a good card to play in this deck overall, so we do play 1 copy of that. And then we play 2 copies of Super Rod. You shuffle a combination of 3 Pokemon or basic energy back from the discard pile to the deck, and it's, prevent yourself from decking out. Maybe there's some resources in the discard pile that you need back into the deck, like a Golduck or something like that. So it's a good card to have. And then we have 10 cards remaining, and it's going to be 8 basic water energies and 2 splash energies. Splash energies, if your Pokemon gets knocked out, you can basically add those Pokemon back to your hand, and then basic energies just to make sure that attacks go through. But yeah, that's going to be it for this deck profile. If I did change anything out of it, like I said, Professor's Letter, Energy Retrieval, Teammates, Lysander, those are basically the only changes I would really do to the deck itself. Tried playing 6 basic energies. I didn't think it was enough. I needed that 8. But yeah, so this overall is the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Make sure you click that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you put that notification button on the YouTube channel. It's a little bell. It's every time a video goes live, you guys are the first ones to see it. And until next time, guys, peace.